All right, let's dive into some harder questions here. And I wanted to include these because I have been asked these over and over and over again, and I see people endure them and suffer them in silence. So let's just call them out. The first question is, what happens if someone realizes their dog isn't cut out for service work? It's a bugger. I'm not going to lie to you. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of time invested. It's a lot of hopes and dreams. Sometimes you have done everything right and your dog just is not cut out. And sometimes you have been sidelined by, another dog bit your dog, or maybe your dog is going through a really bad fear phase. So you can absolutely feel disappointed, frustrated, overwhelmed. I hear you. I've gone through this as well. There's also a lot of pressure that service dog handlers put on ourselves. You don't want to disappoint the people who have voted for you, fought for you, advocated for you. It can feel like a letdown, like a failure if you choose not to continue service dog work with a dog who's not suitable. Washing a dog is hard. My personal experiences with this have been my first service dog that I trained, Rally, 5-year-old German Shorthair, bad hip, separation stress, prey drive, and I felt like a failure. And I had really only myself to blame in this situation. Rally wasn't bit. He just I chose him and he had a bad hip, so that was one of the reasons I washed him. And it was hard. I can tell you what made it easier was knowing that the skills and the training that I learned myself by training Rally set me up immensely to train my next service dog, Watson. And Watson he is actually working with another handler who has hemiplegic migraines, and he graduated Stanford, and he's living the life, right? So through training Rally, I was actually able to train Watson, get myself to a point where I could rely more on medication instead of a service dog for handling my epilepsy, and was able to actually pair Watson and let him save lives and do good in the world. So the skills that you have honed are not wasted at all. If anything, you have gotten better off your first dog, and your second service dog will be that much faster, that much easier. You will find that you as a handler have gotten a lot more confident and skillful in this very particular set of learning, right? How to balance a sit-down stay, how to walk through a restaurant, how to handle public access challenges, how to avoid aggressive dogs, right? So it's not the end of the world, I would encourage you to think about. It's always something that kind of pops up when dogs start to get a little older, or maybe you've been training with your dog for 6 or 7 months and they're just not thriving in service dog work. I would encourage you to have this conversation very openly and honestly, and to reach out to the community and be like, hey, has anyone had this thought? It's not an unusual occurrence, unfortunately. Many people end up washing their dogs due to improper temperament. It's one of the 3 reasons why most owner trainers end up struggling. And I would say that if this is a concern of yours, reach out. Like I said, post in the community, reach out to me. There might be ways that we can counter condition, that we can take a step back and work more sub-threshold to build up your dog's confidence or their enjoyment of the work. We might recommend you take a break for a couple months. Like just take a break off of service dog training and do something fun with your dog, like scent work or agility work. Like just do something else, because the pressure can get really, really intense. And then the last thing I would remind you is something that my husband tells me all the time. Timelines are self-imposed. Now this is ish true for us because we raise and train service dogs once a year. So we do have a timeline, but really in the end, if you're owner training and you're like, I wanted to have you ready to go by April, ask yourself, well, what happens if I push that out to June, July, December? Like, what does that do to me? Am I feeling more relaxed? If I'm more relaxed, is my dog happier? So kind of like remind yourself that your timelines are most likely self-imposed. Give me a call and I'm happy to help.